Hi gang, this is Jim Kelly. I'm recording a couple of extra videos here to go along with the July Zoom clinic. Though it was fun to show it to you, I'm sure we all learned something from it. I was not quite satisfied with the way I got to present the material. I had a few technical difficulties along the way. So I decided that I would make a few separate videos that I could control better to share with you each step along the way that I really wanted to present. Of course, time was against me as well too. So I hope you find these augmented videos useful and productive. So with that, let's get started. The first one in our series is going to be Blink. This is the default little program that comes in every Arduino from the factory. You might call it's their little test program to just see how things are going. It comes pre-installed. Once you install the IDE, that's the Integrated Development Environment, once you download that and install it, Blink is actually one of the programs that comes under the examples. So we'll not spend a lot of time in this because I did a pretty good job of this during the July clinic. So just want you to see I'm on the Arduino website and I've called up the Blink program, and we're going down through here, and the first thing it's telling you is that not all the different models of the Arduino put the Blink on the same pin. You can look here, you can see that most of them do put it on digital pin 13 going down through here. But you see here this MKR, that's on a different pin. Okay, that seems to be, oh here the Gemma is also on a different pin. So it depends on which card you're working with where this built-in LED is at. So this just explains to you where it's at. Come on down here. This is the diagram of what the board looks like when it's hooked up. So I just wanted you to see this little example real clear. Here's the built-in LED. This built-in LED is electrically wired across pin 13. So whatever you do with pin 13, if you turn it on, you're going to turn on that LED. If you turn it off, you're going to turn off that LED. That's why it's a quick little test program for them. They don't need any external hardware or anything. They can just dump that code into the board and let her run, and that light will blink and it will tell them everything's working. But we're going to hook up the external LED as you see here, just so you can see everything working. So with that said, let me call up a picture. I'll show you what it's going to look like on my breadboard. Now we go over this breadboard pretty good in the July clinic too, so I'm going to skip a lot of that. Just know that this is my ground bus over here, right? So this blue wire goes off the page, comes back in the page over here, and connects to ground right here. Now I know it looks like it's plugged into this 3.3 volts, but that's just the angle of the camera. Okay, and then this red wire comes across, and believe it or not, this is actually, if you follow that height down, it's plugged into pin 13 right here. Okay, so then we go from pin 13, we come to the breadboard, through our resistor, through our LED to ground, through the ground wire back to the board. So we have our complete circuit. Now I have a pre-recorded little video of this, so you can see it. I'm hoping that you can see. Whoops, wrong one, guys. This is the pre-recorded one where I can control the light a little better. And here you can see my red wire and my blue wire coming across the ground. My LED, of course, is in here. We'll speed this up a little bit so you can see it blink. I'll turn that board up and take some of that glare away. So the LED is blinking on for 1 second, off for 1 second, on for 1 second, off for 1 second. So we're going to take a look at the code and see what makes that blink. So from my desktop, I opened up my Arduino and asked it to show me the blink file. Now, above is all the introductory stuff that we talked about in the July clinic, the credits and the licensing and who's modified it and when, all the courteous stuff. Then we get down to the setup mode. Remember, setup is the section that gets run only once when you first turn the card on. And it goes from this brace to this brace. Everything in between is in the setup. So for this particular program, we only have one thing we need to set up, and that's the pin mode. So we're going to use LED underscore built in. That's a constant that the program knows what that means. It knows that means pin 13. And we want to use that pin as an output instead of an input. So now we've told the chip how we're going to use that pin. Once we've done that, then we jump down here to our loop, and from this brace to this brace, everything in here gets repeated. It runs through it once, comes back up, runs through it again, comes back up, runs through it again, and it will do that forever until you turn the power off. So with that said, let's take a look at what we're running here. It says digital write right here. Reading and writing, if you think of it like your brain, if you remember, I told you if you want to send something out of your brain, you pick up a pencil and you write it out. So that's an output. And if you want to get something into your brain, you pick up the book, you open it, and you read it in. So read and write are ways to control our outputs and our inputs. So here we're talking to the output that we defined, LED built in. Okay, that's pin 13, and we tell it to be set high. High again is a predefined word that the computer understands. It means turn it on. Once we've done that, then we drop down and we run this function called delay. Now when you want to run delay, you have to tell it how long. So within the parentheses, you see we've written in here 1000. So that's milliseconds. So 1000 milliseconds is 1 second. So it turns it on for 1 second right here, right? Then it delays, I should say it turns it on here, and then delays for 1 second here. And then we do another write and we set it low, or we turn it off. And we come down and we delay for another second. We come back up, we turn it back on, we delay, we turn it off, we delay, we come back up, we turn it on, we delay, we turn it off, we delay. So I think you can see that pattern pretty clear there. So let's see what it's doing in real life here. Move this over. This is a live camera shot of what my board is doing now. Give me a second to adjust things, because I want you to see it compared to the recorded video. Okay, here I've turned it up on edge so you can see that a little better. How's that? All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my code and I'm going to change my delay factor. I'm going to make everything happen faster. So, oops, it missed my 2. I'm going to put the delay as 250 milliseconds instead of 1000. So it's going to, and I'll download that into, or upload that into my chip. Okay, remember guys, down here I watched it compile, and then I watched it do its upload, and it's done. So now you can see it blinking there. I'll run the other one, step into it a little bit. See how I've changed the speed of that? So by playing with my delay, I can change the blink rate of my LED. And that's basically all this program does. So I hope the pictures are a little clearer. Hope the explanation ran a little smoother. With that said, let's stop this and we'll prepare for the next video.